Welcome to European Railway issue number 78, the DVD magazine for the continental enthusiast. In this programme, we travel to Belgium to sample the main rail line between Antwerpen and Brussels, a trip to Germany as we view rail action next to Oberhausen West Yard, diesel multiple units feature on our branch line visit to the east of Ljubljana in Slovenia. Switzerland is our next country as we catch some of the new trains at work on the Berner Oberland Bahn to the south of Interlaken. Finally, we journey to the Czech Republic to look at passenger and freight operations to the west of Ústí nad Labem in the north of the country. We begin the programme with a look at the busy main line to the south of Antwerpen on the route to Brussels. We chose two locations within about 10 kilometres from Antwerpen, close to the towns of Duffel and Kontich. The map here shows our locations around Duffel, the first on the station itself and the second slightly north on a convenient footbridge. Our second location was close to Kontich, just south of the station, not far from the junction with the route that branches off towards Morzel. We begin at Duffel as three Class 77 diesels head north on the slow lines. Two freight trains each way per hour was typical during our stay. Here we see 7724 and 25 heading a rake of hoppers towards the station at just after 3 p.m. on the afternoon of the 10th of July 2017. With rain falling, we see Thalys TGV number 4304 heading north, forming a service for Amsterdam. Trains from Charleroi to Antwerpen are formed of double-deck rakes with Class 27 or Class 18 in charge. Here a pair of Class 27s, numbers 42 and 52, head north. '2861 was the next to appear on a Brussels to Amsterdam service. Number 2803 is seen working the 1252 from Amsterdam to Brussels. Local services are operated by Class AM08-0 units built by Siemens. These train sets replaced many of the ageing AM62 to AM73 classes, which have now been largely withdrawn, apart from a small number operating in and around Brussels and the south of the country. Class 21 are now confined to peak hour services. Here 2135 powers north. Just north of the station, a convenient overbridge offers this view of number 1809 on the rear of the 1424 from Charleroi to Antwerpen. These locos were built in 2009 and replaced many of the then ageing electric locos still in service across the country, including classes 23 and 26. The overhead line voltage here is the standard Belgium 3000 volts DC. Class AM08 units numbers 155 and 036 head south with the 1535 from Antwerpen to Nivelles. Older traction now in the shape of AM82 unit number 398, forming the 1548 from Antwerpen to Tongeren. Local trains that stop at Duffel are line S1 services between Nivelles and Antwerpen. Here AM08, 126 and 065 head north with the 1426 from Nivelles at just after 4 p.m. Anything can turn up on this line, including departmental 5532 hauling 7818. Not far behind on the fast lines are 2752 and 2742, returning south with the 1554 from Antwerp to Charleroi. Thales TGV set number 4306 heads away from the camera, forming the 1425 from Paris to Amsterdam, whilst 186235 heads in the opposite direction with an intermodal service. This line is very busy, with a train seen about once every 2 or 3 minutes. Number 1890 is on the rear of this example. One 186205 heads the 1352 from Amsterdam to Brussels. Our last scene from Duffel shows AM08, 076 and 098 heading north with the 1456 from Nivelles to Antwerpen. We move north a few kilometres to Kontich now, and to 2 locations south of the station, on the chord that allows trains to travel via Morzel. We begin at our first vantage point as a pair of Class AM82 units head north. Built by Siemens, the Class 18 and 19 electrics have the body shape similar to that of the much newer Vectron design of locomotive, built by the same company but which are now being sold all over Europe. This is number 1809. Luckily, while we were waiting, the refreshments turned up. Back to the trains now, and heading north for Antwerpen North Yard is number 1323, an Alstom Astrid locomotive delivered to SNCB on the 7th of May 1999. the train has probably worked north from Charleroi. This is our second location at Kontich as 2732 heads south. In the opposite direction come a pair of DB Cargo Class 6400 diesels, numbers 6520 and 6502. The time was 5:30 and freight trains were coming thick and fast. Next to appear was numbers 1334 and 1344 on a service from Bettembourg Yard in Luxembourg to the Antwerpen North Freight Complex. Some trains use the east curve here on the adjacent junction, including this, the 1705 from Turnhout to Banche, powered at the rear by number 1875. 186183 heads north, powering the 1645 from Brussels to Amsterdam. AM08 units, numbers 089 and 082, come off the triangle with a service from the Lier direction, with a stopping train from Mol to Brussels. This is the 1525 from Paris to Amsterdam, formed by Thalys TGV unit number 4539. (1855) heads north at just before 6 p.m. As can be seen, this line is particularly busy and is definitely worth a visit, either to stations along the route or from locations near to the line. Numbers 366 and 377 head north. Our next part of the programme comes from Germany, and to Oberhausen, deep in the middle of the industrial Ruhr region, just east of the Rhine River. Our location is Oberhausen West Yard, which is the focal point for freight operations in the area. Our vantage point is a tolerated viewing location next to the tracks and close to the now closed Oberhausen Middle signal box. Since February 2017, the remaining DB Cargo Class 151s were sold to Railpool, which then leased them back to DB. One such example is 151012, which is seen here on a very wet Wednesday, the 12th of July 2017, heading through the yard light engine. Whilst waiting for 189001 to appear in view, Vossloh diesel number 1272402 is seen heading away from the camera with a container train bound for Rotterdam. Having entered service with Hector Rail on 25th of April 2008, number 241005 was just over 9 years old when this film was taken. Here it heads west at exactly 7:25 in the morning. (151.077) is another Class 151 sold by DB to Railpool in February 2017 and then leased back to DB Cargo. Here the loco has just arrived with empty coal hoppers and is seen running light engine and being overtaken by 482.008. (1995) vintage ME26 diesel number 2700.04 is designated a Class 251 in Germany. Here it heads west with empty coal hoppers. The locomotive is currently owned by private operator NIAG. The locos were originally built for Norwegian state railways, but were never reliable and were eventually sold on. French BB 37000 electric number 37031 was next to appear. This loco is owned by French leasing company BELGIUM and was out on hire to CFL Cargo when this film was taken in July 2017. 185, 223 and 265 arrive with train GB 48930, conveying paper from Grat-Wien-Gratkorn to Speln. This is 185-285. We witnessed around 18 train movements each hour during our stay. Here heading north east is 152052. (482.025) heads north with waste containers. The train is DGS 43026 from Kavar Torgotzi to Vanna Eikel Westberg. Another class frequently seen here are the DB Class 77, or better known as Class 66. Here number 77033 heads a steel train west, bound for the plant at Huttenheim. Finally in this section we see 189073 with train EZ 45715, a mixed freight from Dordrecht to Gremberg Yard. Our next section comes from the delightful country of Slovenia. This section looks at some of the operations on the single-track line from the country's capital, Ljubljana, to Novo Mesto. We chose the section of line just east of Ljubljana between Šklovljica and Poljevo, a diesel-powered cross-country route seeing a small amount of freight and roughly hourly passenger services each way throughout the day. Our maps show these locations and others in the order that we filmed. We will begin our journey at Šklovljica. The country state railways recently announced their intention to purchase 25 new multiple units from the train supplier Stadler. Most of these will be electric trains, but 5 will be new diesel units. These new trains are set to replace a number of older rolling stock, as well as provide extra capacity for projected future passenger growth. What the new DMUs will replace is as yet unknown, but with follow-on orders a distinct possibility, units such as this could well be on the hit list. Approaching the station is unit number 713112, forming the 905 from Novo Mesto, Candia to Ljubljana service. These units date from 1983 and are very similar to the now withdrawn German Class 614 units working on the DB network. The same unit is seen just east of the town, climbing the gradient, forming the 11 o'clock departure from Ljubljana to Novo Mesto. Sister unit number 113 is next to be seen, forming the 11:40 from Ljubljana to Novo Mesto. 28 units were originally built and have so far suffered just one casualty, with 27 now left in traffic. We now move east to Grossel Playe. Former Hungarian-built Class 375, number 586, renumbered to SZ Class 51, number 156, is a designated technical monument. This loco was retired from traffic in 1972 and received a basic renovation which was completed in 1995. Class 664 diesels are employed on freight duties along this route, with normally 2 locos out at any one time. Here 664110 arrives light engine from Ljubljana, working the daily pickup freight to and from Novo Mesto. Wagons were attached later. The old steam locomotive servicing shed can be seen here, complete with ash pit and redundant water tower. It is still used as a siding to house rail maintenance vehicles. Unit number 713117 arrives forming the 1236 from Ljubljana to Rožalnice. As is all too evident, graffiti is a real problem in Slovenia, which is a shame as just about everything else in the country is so well kept. East of Grossel Playe lies the village of Mlasevo, where we see the 1303 from Ivančna Gorica dropping down the grade on its way to Ljubljana. Moving east once more, our map shows the two final locations chosen, the first at the station at Vyshna Gora and the second at Poljevo. We begin at our first location, where we see the 1323 from Ljubljana to Metlika, arriving formed by unit number 713108. These train sets are second class only and can accommodate 126 people sitting down. They are powered by a single 357 kilowatt engine using diesel hydraulic transmission. In the opposite direction we see unit number 713111, forming the 1219 from Metlika to Ljubljana. Our next location is at Poljevo, which has this lovely church, seemingly isolated from everywhere else. Departing the station is the 1411 from Ljubljana to Novo Mesto, worked by unit number 713125. Switzerland is our next country, as we study some meter gauge action on the busy Berner Oberland Bahn, situated just to the south of Interlaken. Our map here shows the two main locations that we visit. Zweilütschinen is a good place to see the action, as this is where trains split and join for the journeys on to Lauterbrunnen and Grindelwald. The railway ordered 6 new Class ABDeh 883 electric multiple units, which were delivered between December 2016 and May 2017. When our cameras visited on the 27th of July 2017, the new units were already being used on the line services, although crew familiarisation training was still being carried out. Here Unit 326 and driving trailer set number 431 were undergoing shunting manoeuvres at the station. The new units are almost identical to those that are operated by the Zentrale Bahn, which also work into Interlaken, albeit at a different overhead line voltage. But there may be some joined-up thinking going on here, with one eye on the future, as the units can be equipped for dual voltage operation. So, who knows? The units work off the 1500 volt DC overhead and can produce a very respectable 2400 kilowatts of power. The modern building seen behind the train is the railway's main workshops, offices and maintenance facility. Every 30 minutes there are joint arrivals from Lauterbrunnen on the line on the right and from Grindelwald on the line on the left. Trains join here and continue as one long formation north to Interlaken. The old order, in the shape of ABEH 44, powered motorcar number 304, on the rear of the Grindelwald service, is first to arrive. The train from Lauterbrunnen has one of the new units, number 325 for power, on the rear. Meanwhile, the second arrival gently couples up, and before long the train is ready to go on towards Interlaken. The result of the new units arriving on the line meant that the earlier ABEH 44 power cars, which date from 1965, have now all been withdrawn. This includes number 304, which is on the rear of the train from Grindelwald. Just a few minutes later, and it is the turn of the outward train to split and to carry on its journey to the two destinations. This time it is new units numbers 322 and 324, paired up on the Lauterbrunnen portion with number 311 on the portion bound for Grindelwald. Unit number 313 is one of 3 power cars built and delivered to the railway, which date from 1986. Numbers 311 to 313 are still in service on the line.
extra Platz. Ist kein Platz. Hier.
With a very uncertain future, number 310 stands withdrawn outside one of the maintenance sheds. As new unit number 321 arrives from Grindelwald, you can just see on the left DEH44 unit number 302, which dates from 1949 and is now used on works trains. Numbers 324 and 322 arrive back from Lauterbrunnen. A good comparison here between old and new. A quick visit to Wilderswil now, where the Schöniger-Platte-Bahn line terminates alongside the BOB. Here number 61, now over 100 years old, departs for the hills. Finally, it is the turn of numbers 313 and 325 to provide the last sequence in this section, as they arrive with a combined service bound for nearby Interlaken. We now move up to the Czech Republic to look at the route west of Ústí nad Labem to the industrial town of Most. Located in the northern part of the country, it is not far from the border with Germany. The map here shows some of the locations visited on one of two lines that link the towns. This map shows the locations in more detail. We will be travelling from east to west. We begin at Termice before moving south to a couple of locations around Relovice. The station at Termice is located next to a power station and a colliery, as well as being just west of the main passenger route linking Ústí nad Labem with Most, which diverges off here to the north. The date is the 14th of July 2017. And 163241 approaches the camera heading in an easterly direction with a train of wood chippings. The time is 20 to 8 in the morning. number 814126 rounds the curve and underneath the main passenger line to Most with a local service for Berliner. This is 741705 on loaded coal hoppers. Advanced World Transport operate loaded coal trains out of the loading point next to the station here. In this view, 753725, in near ex-works condition, is seen running around a set of empties. (363.045) heads a trainload of brown open cast coal in an easterly direction on its way towards Usti. Locomotives belonging to Unipetrol are common here, working out of the large petrochemical works located just to the north of Most. This is 753717. Moving south and we are just east of Relovice, as 753-720 heads a loaded train towards Ústí. Unipetrol operate 10 Class 753s. The line here runs along twisty river valleys in this industrialised area of the country, close to the open-cast brown coal drift mines, which provide power to some of the massive complexes and power stations in and around the area. It is freight traffic that provides the best variety of locomotive types seen along this line. Moving to the station at Relovice, we chose 2 locations seen here on our map. Our first scene shows one of the 2 hourly frequency passenger services along the line that operate between Ústí and Berlina. This is Unit 814126. CD Cargo signed a deal with manufacturer Siemens to purchase 5 new Vectron electric locomotives for working in the Czech Republic, Slovakia and Germany. This was later increased to 8 on the 25th of April 2017, when 3 more were ordered. A tender for 50 more electric locomotives were invited earlier this year. This new tranche of locos is expected to replace many of the older electrics currently in operation. This is Vectron number 383003. 814117 rounds the curve with a local train, the 0838 from Berlina to Ústí nad Labem. As already mentioned, there are numerous private rail hauliers in the area, including ABDeh. Here the company's sole Class 121 electric, number 038, built in 1960 by Škoda, heads east with loaded coal hoppers at just after 9:15. We now cover the line between Relovice and the junction at Oporyny, calling into Bozanki before stopping off at the crossing to the northeast of Oporyny station. Number 122051 is the first to be seen as it heads east with a short mixed freight bound for Ústí nad Labem. This class of locomotive may only have another couple of more years left in traffic, being replaced by the new locomotive orders. (741-705) is owned by infrastructure company Strabag, but is hired out to other operators as and when needed. Here it heads a set of empty coal hoppers. The location is also the junction of a single-track diesel-operated line down from Teplice. Here 814058 arrives with the 1032 from Teplice to Hradicin. These trains run every 2 hours in each direction. (123-007) heads a mixed freight towards Ústí nad Labem later on the same day. Our next section of track covered runs from Oporyny to Svetec. We begin at Lubin as Class 111 shunter number 034 heads west with this single wagon in tow. At Hostomice, AWTs 742, 520 and 361 haul loaded hoppers towards Ústí nad Labem. This is number 123010 at Svetec. The locomotive is in the process of running around a loaded coal train. (814-126) is a common sight along this line today, this time working another local service from Ústí nad Labem to Berlin. (123010) departs with its train. Note the pantographs are dropped as the train passes through a neutral section on the 3000 volts DC overhead. 363045 heads loaded biomass wagons. Our final section of track covers the section between Berlina and Most, through the village of Jelnica and Obernietze. Approaching Jelnica is unit number 440003 with a 1430 from Dietschen to Most. The 1229 from Heb to Prague powers through the station with 363114 in charge. These trains run every 2 hours in each direction and are powered by a dual voltage electric due to the overhead power changing from 25 kV AC overhead to 3000 volts DC overhead just outside of Kadaň earlier on in its journey. We now move to Most station, dominated by the 14-storey office block that forms part of the station complex. 814159 arrives with a local service from the south. (362-110) has arrived with the 1439 from Heb to Ústí nad Labem. These services also operate every 2 hours, and when combined with the through trains to Prague, offer an hourly service pattern on the main line to and from Heb. Every hour the station comes to life, with services connecting with each other. Quite colourful, really. 123010 is seen again, this time on a different set of coal wagons than we saw earlier at Svetec. Note the pantographs dropping as it enters the station. Just south of the town, not far from the village of Oberhausen, is this scene of Class 440 unit number 004 on a service from Ljubljana. As workers leave a nearby cement works, locomotive number 741734 heads east with loaded tanks on behalf of Unipetrol Dąbrowa. This is one of CZ Loco's hire fleet, only recently been completed, having been rebuilt from a Class 740. (162.019) is bathed in the evening light as it heads west with the 1731 from Ústí nad Labem. Our final scene is of 186432. The loco was delivered to its owner's rail pool in July 2015 and went on hire straight away to Unipetrol Dąbrowa, where it remains today. As the train disappears from view, we would like to thank you for watching this edition of European Railway.